Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Now, News Central now continues in Liberia, where it's the west of the continent, by the way, where Liberians go to the polls Tuesday on whether to give football legend George Weah a second term as president, with peace among voters' main concerns in a nation still scarred by back-to-back civil wars. But the recent killing of 3 people in clashes between their supporters has fueled fears of a return to violence. Now, trouble also marred the close of Weah's re-election campaign Sunday, with his supporters and opposition members throwing stones at each other and police intervening with tear gas. Now, between 1989 and 2003, the conflict in Liberia left more than 250,000 people dead. The incumbent, Weah, who won the 2017 elections, faces 19 presidential candidates and a likely second-round runoff in early November. Now, joining us to take a look at the early mood and happenings in Liberia is Anthony Stevens, a journalist. Thank you so much, Anthony, for joining us at this time.
A pleasure. Sorry, I'm in the field, so you don't have a good background.
Oh, that's fine. But can you tell us where you are at the moment? And if you can also tell us, has voting started wherever you are at your location?
Where I am, I'm at the Liberia Junction. So this is a road that leads to the country's major international airport, the Rabas International Airport. Yes, I've seen people coming out. So voting has begun. I've seen 1 or 2 persons showing their voters' cards to journalists as they get out of the police stations. Yes, the atmosphere here is calm. Citizens are moving about. There are normal businesses. Those who have registered to vote, I've seen long queues. So there is huge enthusiasm. Liberians are turning out, at least for what I've seen so far, at the various police stations that I've called. Liberians are turning out their numbers to vote.
Okay, now you said so far you've seen people going out to vote, but what would you say is the level of preparedness for this particular election?
Well, the National Elections Commission is the body that is conducting this election. And this is the first time information that this is an all-Liberian election in the context that security-wise, this is the first time Liberia is providing security for its own elections. So the last elections we had, the last 3 elections we had the presence of international peacekeepers. So the UN and international people were involved with that process. But this is the first time that Liberia is providing security. This is the first time that this election is exclusively funded also by the Liberian government. So in terms of preparation, I've heard the National Elections Commission saying that it is prepared and it is determined for ensuring that it delivers free, fair, and transparent elections to the Liberian people. Over 2.4 million Liberians are expected to vote in these elections. And I need to say it is not only the presidential election. These are elections for president and also for senators and representatives.
All right, now you talked about being in a particular location, but we want to know, have you been to other locations? And if you actually have, has there been any hitch so far to the commencement of voting in the places that you have seen or even visited? Or have you heard of any, challenges so far?
No. So whilst on my way, because I'm going to 2 locations now where President Weah is expected to vote, and also the former vice president is me challenger. But I did tour the Cathedral Catholic School, one of the major high schools in Liberia. I didn't see any hitches. I didn't also see this here at the police stations around the Liberia Junction area. So far, from what I've seen, there are no hitches. Maybe there are other incidents or there are problems in other areas. I can't definitively speak to that. But what I've seen so far is that all is calm and voting is going on normally.
All right. Now, talking about earlier, you actually talked about what people are actually voting, or the elections that people are actually voting for. But then, so far, you actually have the country battles a myriad of challenges. From economic issues to corruption. You also have drug abuse, and also a lot more. Now, what areas should the next president prioritize to restore hope and confidence in the people of Liberia?
The major issue that is on Liberians' lips now is the issue of the economy. It is a glaring fact that the economy is not performing. Many Liberians are living in acute hardship and poverty. So that's an issue I've heard many of the candidates talking about, also many Liberians talking about. And also, yes, the issue of drug addiction, drug abuse is a big problem. It's become a national embarrassment. Some of the candidates have even pledged that should they win the polls today, they would declare a national emergency. Some of them have talked about ensuring that the security sector is empowered to the extent that people who come into the country from the airport or through the borders are screened so that the issue of drug importation is curtailed. Of course, there's an issue of corruption, of course, and some of the candidates have talked about that as well. The former vice president has talked about that. Alice Cummings, the former political executive, and also the Senate Bureau of the collaborating political parties has talked about that. Tiawong Bongo, the renowned human rights lawyer, who's also running for president, in fact, has a broom in his hand, or did have a broom in his hand as he campaigned to the polls, as he campaigned for the elections, and he was saying that he's going to sweep up corruption. That was one of his major messages as he appealed to Liberians to vote for him. So these are the top issues, of course, in Liberia.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Anthony Stevens, for giving us your time to actually speak on the ongoing Liberian elections at this time. We'll leave you now to go do your due diligence, and we wish you a very successful elections today.
My pleasure. Thanks for the interview.